Well, hello there, and welcome back to Freeform Disney. I'm Jeremy, and today it is going to be time for our third episode of The Bad Batch. Although, dang, with how long that first one is, it kind of feels like it's further in than 3 episodes. Maybe more like, 5 episodes. Looks like we've got a few of you in here today. So, let's see. Looks like Evie will not be here, but hello there anyway, kind of to you, I guess. And hello there to David Moscoso. Hello there to Mikhail. Hello there to Matthew Finn. Hello there to Geek Girl. Hello there to Dodo Dureste. Hello there to Jurassic Boy Carter. And hello there to Darscal. Wow, got a good few of you in here today. Definitely we do. As I said, hey, it's Bad Batch. We got to be in there for that, right? So I think I've seen most of you on the streams before, but a couple of new people in here too. Oh, and hello there to Steph as well. So we definitely have a few in. Let me go ahead and give the usual out-of-the-way stuff here. So if you are new, as I said, you'll make sure to pull up your copy of Bad Batch, and you'll get to go ahead and watch along at the same time I am and everybody else is. So I'll count you on in, we'll sync it up, and then I'll also have a timer up above my head up here. So that way, if it gets missynced for some reason, or you come in late, or whatever happens, you can go ahead and sync your watch back up. Or you new Darscal. I've never seen you before. I'm trying to think of a nice Star Wars quip that would work well with that. I'm just didn't pop it up off the top. Dang, Star Wars fail right there. Okay. So that is all of that. Get those pieces out of the way up off the top. So we haven't seen Bad Batch releasing early yet with either of its couple episodes, so I'm not specifically expecting it'll be before midnight. Well, midnight Pacific, I should say. But it could be. And if it is, we'll be here and we'll be ready for it. There we go, Geek Girl. That's a good one. I could go with that. He's not the Darth you're looking for. I could also be like, wait, Darth, you're new. I've got a bad feeling about this. Hopefully we see more of Crosshair in this episode. Me too, but I'm guessing I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a little bit till we see him again. Yeah, it's like he's going to come back in at some point, but it feels more like the overarching piece that maybe we'll see him a couple times during the season. Maybe there'll be a big mid-season thing. That's my guess on it. Yeah, that's where I'm thinking. As I said, my hope is more toward, say, Rex, but I don't know. I don't know that we'll get to see Rex today, or if we'll hold that off for a little bit longer. I wouldn't be surprised if we wait just, say, another episode or two beyond this. He's going to come in soon. We teased it even that they're in the same area, intentionally putting that in there, in case we hadn't seen the trailer anyway, of course. Let's see. So, what is everybody looking most forward to after the Bad Batch for Star Wars shows? There's a ton of them coming up, eventually. As for this year, not as much. We should have Visions come up sometime later this year. Book of Boba will come out at the end of the year, etc. But as to what all for sure is this year, next year, I think is still somewhat in flux anyway. Apparently Sam Witwer is doing voice work for the show. Well, come on, Darth Maul's got to pop in here somewhere. We can't not have Darth Maul pop in. I mean, if there's a few characters that just have to pop into a Dave Filoni animated series, yeah, there's one. I mean, Ahsoka's going to pop in somewhere just because. Rex has to pop up. Maul has to pop up. Admittedly, if he does an animated series later in time, it might be a little trickier. We'll pull off a flashback to go ahead and get them in, right? Geek Girl is most looking forward to Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, and Ahsoka. Yeah, that's probably where I'm at myself. the thing, Mandalorian season 3, just because of where we left off, I'm not looking forward to it as much. I mean, we finished off the storyline that was clearly what Mandalorian was all about. So maybe it depends where it goes. Depends how we're going ahead and using our characters, what we're going to do with Bo-Katan, if Sabine pops in, all those kind of things. So we'll see. We'll see on that one. But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to Book of Boba. Definitely looking forward heavily to Kenobi and heavily to Ahsoka. So, yeah. But yeah, it's tons of things to go ahead and look forward to, though, coming up. Indeed. Let's see, and you're saying Mandalorian's been delayed, which, yeah. I mean, we already knew Book of Boba's coming out December this year, so we knew season 3 of Mandalorian wouldn't be until next year at the earliest in the first place. But, as I said, just with the timing, because Book of Boba was being filmed first, etc., etc., so that doesn't really seem to be a surprise in that front right there. Let's see. Oh, Scal looking forward to Kenobi, but at the same time, yeah, but we've got Anakin in there somehow. I'll take that right there. And hopefully that means the story's a little more focused. So some other time, maybe. Who knows? But in this case, yeah, I'm definitely happy to go ahead and have Kenobi and Anakin popping back in. That'll be all kinds of intriguing things as to exactly what's going to happen with that. Whether it's going to be flashback pieces or exactly how all that'll play out. I'd love to see Darth Maul in live action again. My guess is if we get it, maybe they'll... I don't know whether they'll shoehorn into Lando. I kind of hope not. I kind of hope really it's more sequels to Solo and more working in that direction, or a spin-off from Solo, whatever the heck way they want to go about it. But I'd love to go ahead and see that section explored more. So you get Maul and Crimson Dawn in that time period right there. Yes, indeed. So those are things I would like to go ahead and see sometime. If we get them. We'll see what we do and what we don't. Yeah, I agreed, CL. I mean, we could be using him for mask-off moments on Vader, too, though. Because then we're actually using Hayden Christensen that way. So that certainly could be a usable thing as well. I mean, with the mask on, it's a different matter, but... yeah. Let's see. Let's see, do we have it up yet? We're 5 before. Looking like we are still waiting. Not that I am the most surprised by that. Kind of figured it would take right up till the hour here. So I am not heavily surprised that it's going to end up going that way right there. Yeah, what can you do? It's always nice when it comes out early. But try to rely on that. Probably when we get big things popping up again, there's a shot of it. Especially when we have Luca release. In that case, Bad Batch might release early. That's possible right there. So yeah. I will say I am looking forward to casting Andor. Or just Andor, I should say. Looking forward to seeing where that one goes. Especially we've got some of the politics that probably is going to come up in here. Because Mon Mothma we know is going to be in the show. I expect, hopefully, we might see Bail Organa in there a little more, too. Getting to see some of these figures and some of the other people we don't spend as much time with there, that could be really intriguing. And, yeah, I said, who knows, maybe we'll bring General Medine in a little bit more, considering his role within the rebellion, that could make some sense. Well, anyway, so definitely some interesting things that could pop in there. Hello there to Star Wars Tonight. Getting ready to go ahead and watch Bad Batch. Scal, you're saying that, yeah, the Lando show. Yeah, that's the big question right there is Lando playing off as the sequel to Solo that we didn't get or not, right? Heck if I know the answer to it, but that's certainly the big question, right? Certainly looking forward to it, though. It's probably going to be a ton of fun. I said, while we're at it, I said, the other ones, I can't say as I'm intrigued by Rangers of the New Republic, just because I don't know anything of what to expect for it. If Rogue Squadron wasn't being made, I'd go, oh, well, maybe they were going this direction, but Rogue Squadron's clearly going to hit that, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect of Rangers of the New Republic. Clearly, it definitely heavily seems like that was once going to be a Cara Dune-led thing, but obviously not at this point. So, given all that, don't really know where the heck it's going. Acolyte, on the other hand, Acolyte, especially with being in such a different time period and a canvas to paint and focusing on the Sith, that one, I'm intrigued by what might be done with that one right there. But yeah, I mean, it can't take more anticipation for me compared to things like Ahsoka and Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett, or, well, I mean, even Andor. Yeah. I really am hoping for Rogue Squadron as a movie, though. Really hoping there. Considering, I said, love the books, so we'll see what they do, and we'll see which characters get brought in, and hopefully do a good job with it. Let's see. Scal's asking if they're the only ones who booked their tickets to Black Widow. Got that to go ahead and talk about right there, too. That is for sure. Well, we are coming right up on Bad Batch time right here. Should be any time now. While I'm at it, let me go ahead and toss this over into the chat. I will go ahead and do a breakdown for episode 3 again, like I did for episode 2 last week. So definitely catch that, and I'll try to get another video or two non-breakdown anyway. Could still be Bad Batch related to some degree. We'll see. See what happens in this episode too. That always makes a difference as to what one feels like talking about. So yeah. Okay. Yes, indeed. Hello there to Pheromond. Looks like we're at midnight now, at least here in Pacific time. We've changed the front piece, and we have episode 3. Interesting, we're not putting the name out public this time. So 27 minutes and 58 seconds long, including all the localization credits. So probably more like 23 minutes. Okay, so everybody go ahead and get your copy of Bad Batch up and ready. Let me know in the chat if you're having any problem with that, so go ahead and put it up in there. And, oh, also, by the way, side note, don't forget to click that like button over there. Ooh, I'm pointing at it, kind of. I'm pointing everywhere. Eventually, I point at it. See, there you go. There we go. Don't forget to click that like button over there. It definitely helps out a lot. So do that. And again, put it in the chat right now if you have not gotten the episode up, because otherwise we're going to get ready to start up. And Geek Girl saying about Leslie Headland being able to write good Star Wars. I haven't the slightest idea. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. I'll see you in a bit, Darscal. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody saying any problems to pulling up the episode, so with that being said, let's get ready to go ahead and start on up into the 3rd episode of the Bad Batch. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1, go. I never get tired of Lucasfilm as a logo. Even if it's changed, you know, in certain ways. And this is certainly fun, too. I love that you can skip the intro on this when it's that short. Replacements. That's an interesting title. So the ship is damaged. I like Wrecker. Might be a critical system. It's not affecting life support. It's not critical. It would make sense they're low on supplies being on the run this way. It's not something they've ever been used to having to deal with. Back to the whole possibility of them becoming mercenaries, because that then leads to you being able to go ahead and deal with getting money and a way to live. Otherwise, you're just relying on the good hearts of others, which they don't exactly have a whole lot of people they can even hope for on that. Yeah, I said before I like Wrecker. Certainly still do. Whew. Me too, Geek Girl. I love there's a gonk droid in there. There's part of the whole trick. It's the debate over that, right? You don't know. But how long were the Bad Batch together as a group? I'm not sure if we know the origin time. Obviously, it can't be too far back, but... Well, speaking of seeing Crosshair again, oh, there you go. Yeah. Using plenty of Tarkin here, too. Hello there, Matthew Cordona. Are these stormtroopers now, though? Oh yeah, I figured it was the same AZ droid there. I mean, you don't go through that much work and have the same personality quirks in there, right? Yeah. Here's where we start having the clones start trading their replacements. Hmm. Empire Strikes Back vibes right here. Definitely some Empire Strikes Back vibes. Speaking of the Empire Strikes Back vibes, Minox feet on the power cables. These guys like power too. I guess some kind of creature. Yeah, pretty much. Interesting. Where are we going on record with the head injury here? Is it just an excuse simply to put him back here, or is something else we're doing with it? Oh, really cool, Matthew. Definitely. That's nice. I love how we're digging into this. Now we bring Saw back in. I'll pick it up. What? For that simple. Oh yeah, definitely still copying Hunter. And trying to stay close to him too. I like that we're willing to do the split look at things, not merely follow the Bad Batch, or I should say, not follow our group of Bad Batch, since Crosshair is kind of. Rest in peace, indeed. Yeah. Well, she is force sensitive at least. Yeah, no kidding, Matthew. It's like, no, Megan, don't do it. But it's going to be interesting to see a bit more of her connection with the Force here, though, because I'm sure it's going to come out in this. But what a mess. And going down into the tunnels, assuming they're not solo and they're more herd or pack animals. Yeah. And it's not a nice way to die. Yeah, you know where that was going. Wow. Mm. It's one of those, if you do get Crosshair back eventually, how do you live with everything you did there? Unless you're really and truly okay with that. That'll be interesting in its own right. Yeah, exactly, Key Girl. Whether expecting it or not. Still. It's one of those, it's our Crosshair, come on. Even if he was always kind of the most distant of the group. Still. The flip side of this here. It's a nice moment. One that probably wouldn't have happened with anyone other than Omega here. They're back, but they certainly didn't take out Saw. So would you call that a failed mission? That's interesting, girl. I don't know that she actually actively calmed it as much as she was able to calm herself more, is the way that I felt it. Because if she makes it so she doesn't appear as a threat, then she should be okay in there. Which is tricky. But yeah. Who's your source you're looking for? If Jango Fett's DNA is getting used up, you going after Boba at that point? Such a weird thing to say, that the DNA is getting used up. Yeah, it's my guess too. Which is a great way to bring him in here. But dang, you're taking on someone that's getting big. Which probably is where Fennec Shan pops in too, in amongst the course of all that too, right? Nice. It's a nice episode. Oh, there we go. That was episode 3. Ah, yes, Gear Girl. Wonder if we'll get to see the Boa versus Cad Bane showdown. I'm gonna guess yes. We're already working Boba in. We'll find a way to get it in there. But this is nice. It was nice to get to go ahead and see more of the politics and what's going on Kamino. We're clearly going to go ahead and deal more with that. I mean, it's not like it's a big episode to write home about or anything like that. But another, it's a good, solid enough episode right there. So yeah, good, decent episode. And to go back to the worries I once had about Omega from the trailers, definitely proved unfounded. So it clearly does not look like Omega is going to be used to hugely de-age the intent of what the show's aimed at, which was what my worry was, but clearly does not seem to be the case as to where we're going, to which I'm quite happy about. Yeah, solid but not outstanding. One of those. Don't really have anything to complain about. Could there have been ways to tighten up the story, etc., etc.? Sure. But I think it worked quite well. We got to see some more character development when we were looking over at Omega, Wrecker as well. and a little bit on Hunter. Really, it was kind of an episode for them here on this side, and then, of course, definitely Crosshair on the other side, as well as getting to see a bit more of the plans of the Imperials. And an interesting little bit of dropping Saw Gerrera a little bit more here. Clearly, we're far from done with Saw Gerrera. And we're certainly going to see more there, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely loving the Camino scenes. But yeah, some interesting stuff. Where we're going next time? It's also one of those, if we're talking about bringing in Rex next time from our delay, it's the clear, let's just put a delaying episode in between here and there. So, could see Rex next time. Makes me wonder a little bit more just when you put in a specifically delaying episode like that. Cool. Oh, and while I'm at it, hello there to Gyroscope. So another good episode right there. If I had to say, it's the weakest of the three, but, you know, it's hardly making any complaints right there. I mean, I've liked them all, so... I mean, if that's the weakest of the three and the weakest of Bad Batch, oh no. So yeah. Again, what can I say? Compared to Clone Wars and Rebels and whatnot, in terms of quality and consistency and characterization, again, Bad Batch is clearly standing above. And we've got a ways to go. We've got a number of episodes this season, so we've got months to go until we see all of this. So how often are we going to probably pop back to Camino? That's an interesting question, because episode 2 we did not. We didn't go back to Camino at all, or Crosshair or anything. So I don't feel like we're going to do that every time, but when we have a lighter story we do for our Bad Batch, then we'll have more time to jump over the other direction as well. And I feel like we're probably going to shift away from Tarkin at some point, too. I think introducing our other Imperial here over on Camino was another bit of starting to shift the focus away from Tarkin. Away from the character we all know and who has bigger and even more overarching things to deal with. And over to this guy. And even then, to be honest, he'll probably go further down the line because even he is pretty big when it comes to it, as far as what his job is here. So yeah, just some thoughts. So what about everyone else? Any thoughts you've got on the episode? It's not one that I feel like I've got a lot to go ahead and say afterwards. Maybe give me more time, more thoughts. I mean, that scene with Crosshair and the new stormtroopers over on Onderon. Oof. Dang. Again, they went there. And that's a comment about this show, too. I mean, we started with Order 66, I grant, and that is dark, to be sure. What we just did, I think, was darker than what we did with how we portrayed and showed Order 66, as dark as that is. I mean, on top of that, you had the person who actually stood up and actually didn't want to go ahead and kill the unarmed civilians over there. It's like, yeah. And you know exactly what was going to happen, but definitely darker. And love that they went ahead and did it. Love that they were willing to do it, let's put it that way. And I would love to see Crosshair get brought back and have to reckon with these things later on. Say season 2 if my prediction on Crosshair getting brought back at the end of season 1 pans out to be correct or not. Yep, agreed. Yes, it cemented Omega as part of the crew too, which definitely, hey, that's a notch in the cap for this episode. And yeah, Tarkin will be gone. My guess is he'll pop back up at some point. Won't be the last time we see Tarkin, but At this point, maybe we won't see him again until closer to the finale or something of that nature, however that finale is building up. Although my guess does come to it being in some way that the Bad Batch will be either going to Camino to go ahead and try to get Crosshair back, or somewhere else, or I'm not sure entirely. It'll be an interesting question. Be an interesting question. Okay. So I've got an episode to go ahead and start making a breakdown video for, to go ahead and put over on Freeform Star Wars for everyone. So I get to go ahead and go do that. And then we'll have another week, and we'll get to go ahead and hit episode 4. And here's hoping it'll be Rex. I'm hoping for Rex next week. So, anywho, I'm probably going to go ahead and take on off and get to work over there myself. Hours to go before I go to sleep. So, anyway, to everyone, and Geek Girl as well, to everyone, I am going to go ahead and bid you adieu, which means I'm going to say... Have a oh, you're hoping for Finnick? Yes. Hoping for Fennec to pop up. Yeah, he's got to pop up somewhere. I'm sure he will. I don't know when or how we'll bring Fennec in. But I would be surprised if we don't see him eventually. I don't know here if it'll be early, though. But yeah, definitely I'd love to see Fennec pop in. Oh god, my brain. Anyway, yes. Reading that and my brain went somewhere else entirely as to who I thought we were talking about. Yeah, Fennec Shan. Somehow, reading Fennec, Fennec, as Fennec Shan, but reading it that way just made me think Krennic, with the ACK at the end. But yeah, no, Fennec Shan definitely we'll see. But I'm guessing it'll be halfway through the season at least. That's my guess. Matthew, you're watching one of the High School Musical, the musical series, season 2. I have not watched any of it. So I can't add much to the whole High School, the musical, the series. Fun title to say, though. Anyway. With all of that, I think I'm going to take off and go get to work on a breakdown that I'll put up on Freeform Star Wars in a number of hours. As soon as it's done, really. And I will see you all either over there next week for Thursday or on some of the videos in between. So in the meantime, everyone, let me say, have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.